blood on a carpet that changed two lives forever. The Menendez brothers' shocking family murder case is one of the most studied criminal matters in modern American social history, and it includes a timeline of events, a list of legal milestones, witness statements, forensic details, and sociological issues that together create a complex picture of motive, opportunity, procedure, and controversy. The main incident occurred in 1989 when two adult sons shot their parents in a gated home in Beverly Hills, a jurisdiction in Los Angeles County known for its high property values and security concerns. The victims were middle-aged professionals whose lifestyles were described in court records as comfortable with assets of an estate that prosecutors alleged was a motive. The killings were discovered after an unusual period of delayed reporting, and the initial police response recorded ballistics forensic photographs and a sequence of chain of custody entries that later became central to trial arguments. Investigators collected shell casings from the scene, documented firearm calibers, logged blood spatter patterns, and noted entry wounds, exit wounds, and the positions of victims and other physical evidence. The two accused were arrested after a separate set of events that included recorded confessions to friends and therapists, and an interview in which statements were made and later used by both prosecution and defense in different ways. The defense centered on claims of prolonged abuse and psychological trauma, including alleged sexual threats and violent episodes that the defense argued began in childhood and continued through adolescence and into early adulthood. Expert testimony included psychiatrists, psychologists, and social workers presenting diagnoses such as post-traumatic stress disorder, major depressive disorder, and in some testimony personality features that the defense argued explained the defendant's state of mind. The prosecution focused on premeditation, opportunity, motive, and financial gain, and offered evidence such as bank statements, insurance policies, property deeds, and testimony about conversations where the accused expressed plans or resentment. Jury selection occurred in a state court with voir dire extended over numerous days and included challenges for cause, peremptory strikes, and the selection of 12 jurors with alternates in accordance with state statutes. Trial exhibits included photographs, medical examiner reports, toxicology results, and timelines constructed by investigators showing estimated times of death, time of discovery, and estimated travel and communication windows for the accused. Forensic timelines used contemporary techniques from the time, including body temperature estimates, livor mortis, and witness recollections to establish a sequence. The first trial resulted in convictions on multiple counts and sentencing that included life imprisonment with additional years and conditions regarding parole eligibility that were later the subject of appeals. Significant appeals addressed issues such as jury instructions, admission of evidence, confrontation clause concerns, and rulings on the admissibility of recorded statements. A subsequent retrial featured a different jury and presentations that reflected new legal strategies, changes in evidentiary rulings, and updated expert opinions. Media coverage from national newspapers, local television, and cable networks contributed to public awareness and debate about family violence, criminal law, self-defense, and the role of wealth and social status in the justice system. The case prompted discussions in academic journals, law reviews, and psychology periodicals about the interaction of trauma testimony and legal standards of proof, and about how juries evaluate claims of long-term abuse. Statistical comparisons were cited in commentary showing rates of domestic violence, reports in the general population, percentages of reported child abuse cases that reach prosecution and studies of post-traumatic stress disorder prevalence among people with histories of interpersonal violence. Insurance law specialists reviewed estate records and probate filing to assess whether financial incentives could be established under civil standards of evidence, and whether transfers or guardianship documents changed around the time of the deaths. Criminologists examined patterns of familicide incidents in the United States and compared case characteristics such as age ranges of perpetrators' relationship to victims' use of firearms, number of victims, and the presence of prior criminal histories. The family background in public records showed immigration histories, educational records, employment histories, and community involvement details that were introduced to provide context during trial. Psychological assessments included formal instruments administered by clinicians with scoring systems and normative comparisons that were described in expert reports, and then debated in cross-examination about validity, reliability, and interpretation. Court transcripts run into thousands of pages with direct examination, cross-examination sidebar, conferences, pretrial motions, and judicial rulings that together form a procedural record used by appellate courts, researchers, and journalists. Sentencing hearings evaluated statutory ranges, guidelines, and aggravating and mitigating factors, with victim impact statements present in the record describing personal losses, economic effects, and emotional trauma. Prison records following conviction documented facility assignments, security classifications, disciplinary records, access to programs, and projected minimum terms under state law. Civil suits filed by or against estate representatives raised questions about asset distribution, fiduciary duties, and potential claims for wrongful death under applicable state statutes. Public opinion polls conducted in the years following the trials measured attitudes toward the verdicts and toward the credibility of abuse claims, and showed a range of responses that correlated with demographic factors such as age, education level, and political orientation. The case remains a frequent subject for legal coursework and continuing education seminars, where law students and practitioners analyze evidence, handling jury instruction drafting and appellate strategy, while reflecting on the intersection of human behavior, forensic science, and legal process.